All right, can you hear me better now? Okay, so what we are going to be doing tonight is going to be some of the pieces. We got a big group, so we're not going to do the whole thing, of a protocol called Health Rhythms. It is the peer-reviewed, solid research basis for almost all of the claims you hear about wellness benefit from drumming. From group drumming, yes. Funny you should ask. All right, so the things they have tested, and this is amazingly solid research. It has almost every study has been repeated in Japan. Some of them have been repeated in Germany with consistent results. The wellness benefits include, but are not limited to, 1, increased killer T-cell activity in the system. 2, the presence of a greater degree of several proteins that are associated with cancer resistance. 3, some of it is subjectively based, but both subjectively measured, so people fill out little forms saying how they feel before and after, subjectively measured wellness increases in anxiety, levels of stress, or a decrease in the amount of cortisol in the system, which has been called the chemical of stress. And there's more, and all of this research you can go check out on remo.com, because Remo Belli, who passed last year, Remo Belli is an amazing human being, and when Dr. Barry Bittman came up with the idea to actually test, he was at a Bernie Siegel cancer event where they had a drum circle. And he said, and I quote, so I'm gonna use one tiny piece of profanity because it's a direct quote. He said, I said to myself, holy shit, this has to be good for you. So he set out to prove it. Next step is finding funding. He called up Remo Belli, and to make a long story short, to get positive, consistently positive results, they did the first run of tests 7 times before they came up with a protocol that produced the biological wellness effects they were looking for. The things they tried that did not work. Now keep in mind, this is with a blind audience, so this is people who volunteered for a test. They probably were getting paid for it, but they had no idea what they were doing. But the things they did that did not give them those benefits included just an unfacilitated drum circle, a facilitated drum circle, more in a top-down facilitating style, drum lessons, actually stressed people out because they had no idea what was being measured, so they're there like, oh my God, am I failing? So it took them a minute to get the positive results. Once they got them, it worked every time. Once they developed the protocol, it worked every time. The most exciting study that they did was a genomic level study. And it ties into a lot of current research on, what do they call that thing where your genes switch on and off based on what you eat or based on it?
Expression.
Pardon?
Expression.
Yeah, it is gene expression. There's a term I'm looking for, but it'll come back to me. So what they did was they took a big group of people, about 50, divided it into 3 groups to test. And first, they did a baseline measurement for 47 different hereditary stress-related diseases in every individual to see which people had which genes. So we all carry genes that when they are expressing, when they are turned on, basically give us hereditary stress-related diseases, different kinds of cancer, hypertension, a lot of the really big killers in our culture. So they did a baseline measurement to see where everybody was at. And then they stressed them out. And here's how they stressed them out. And this is the most brilliant part of the whole test. They put them all in cubicles with crappy lighting and a jigsaw puzzle and a $100 prize to the person who got the most pieces in an hour, and a proctor who would walk around and say, oh, you're doing pretty good. Most people are doing a little better, but you're still in the game. And that was it. Now, I've had jobs where that would have been a great day. I would have thought that did it. That was enough to activate these hereditary stress-related diseases. And how important this is, it's a deep thing. It means that basically when these diseases turn on, they're supposed to make us feel crappy enough that we stop doing what we're doing because it's not good for us. If we don't stop doing what we're doing, eventually they can put us in the ground. So it's a profound thing that they were measuring. Then they split the group up. One group did nothing. No change. They didn't do anything. They just sat around, and no changes in the activated genes. A second group went to like the equivalent of employee lounge. They had a Coke. They got to flip through a magazine or the paper, and they had one or two genes that people got relaxed enough that they deactivated. The group that did the Health Rhythms Group Empowerment Drumming Protocol had, if I remember right, 13 discrete instances where a gene that had activated for hereditary stress-related disease turned off. This is a huge deal. This was the first big study that showed that our behavior changes us on a genetic level. So this study has a lot to do with the emergent science of genomics, which is there to figure out how our body, how we change genetically in response to environmental things, in response to stress. So when they did this study, they showed that it was possible through group empowerment drumming with the protocol that Dr. Bittman developed at the Mind Body Wellness Institute. It's a neurological research hospital. With that protocol, they showed they had the possibility of turning those things off, telling our bodies not to express for the diseases. It's not the same as treating the disease. It's, to me, it's a more fundamental change. So with that said, I want to explain a little more about the scientific philosophy of it afterwards. So I'm going to be watching the time, and like I said, this is a big group. We're not going to hit every step in the protocol. But with that said, is everybody game to experience this and give it a shot? Everybody's in? Excellent. All right, so first, most of you have an egg shaker, a little egg shaker or a lemon shaker. And we're going to do one quick little exercise before we start. All right, so I want you to hold that in your right hand. Now I want you to put it in your left hand, and then I want you to pass it, if you have one, to the person next to you. All right? So we're going to the left. All right? So now it should be in your right hand. All right? So from the right hand to your left to the person next to you. All right? 1, 2, 3. Left. 1, 2, 3. Pass it. 1, 2, 3. Left. 1, 2, 3. Pass it. 2, 3, left. 1, 2, 3, pass it. 1, 2, 3, left. 1, 2, 3, pass it. Let's go. 1, 3, left. 1, 2, 3, pass it. If it falls, let it go. 1, 2, 3, pass. 1, 2, 3, left. 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 And pass. And left. And pass. And left. And pass. And pause. Excellent. All right. So if you dropped one, go ahead and pick it back up. And now, if you've got two, pass one on. All right, you're good. All right. So. All right, so now, so what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to suggest a number of games that we can play for a minute. And so for the first game, I want to do the same thing, but now take it in your left hand. We're going to go the other way. But we need one volunteer who would like to come out and play the big drum in the middle just to tell us the time. You're going to hit we're going to switch and pass along with your hits. Who would like to do that? Go for it. All right, so now remember, we're going the other way, just to make it more entertaining. If a shaker drops, it's all right, let it go, and just keep the motion going, and at your leisure. Oh, sorry. All right, if you don't have shakers, try to add a clap in. So just clap. Good, and I'll try it a little quicker. Okay, and whenever you're ready, you can call it. Awesome. So after each little game that we play, I'm going to invite any comments anything anybody would like to share, any observations. You don't have to have any, but if you do, please feel free to offer them up.
When it was going, it felt really fun, really good. Like it felt good.
All right. Yes. Well, I would say if anybody else wants to join, come in up close behind. For the moment, go ahead and set the egg shakers down. So just let them fall where they fall. And we're gonna move on to a different idea. Now we have an unusual group here in that for a health rhythms thing, and that I think it's safe to say everybody here is a drummer. Yes. Okay, so even if you're a bare beginning drummer, everybody here has played some, right? Do we have anybody who has not ever played? Okay, good. All right. So one of the things that we do, this is not a drum lesson in any form. I'm just going to point out a couple things because we want to explore ways to express. So all I'm going to point out is this is the entirety of the drum lesson. For djembes and everything, if you tip them away, you get better volumes. But if you hit the drum in the middle, let's all do that. We get a deep sound, right? Let's hit it closer up to the edge. We get a higher pitch sound, right? Hit it just with your fingertips. Much higher pitch sound, right? Okay, end of lesson. There's all kinds, you can brush the drum, you can tap the drums, whatever you would like to do. So what we're going to do now, and this again is going to be a thing of if you feel called, step up and do it. What we're going to do now is some of us, we're just going to say our name, anybody that wants to, but then you're going to play your name on the drum. It could be a syllabic representation. I could say, my name is Martin Greywolf Murphy, and play it just like the syllables. Or I could say, My name is Wolf. Right? So whatever you're feeling. So and then, here's the cool part, here's the second part of the game. You're gonna keep doing that same thing, and the rest of us are gonna do it with you a few times, and then I'm just gonna count it out. All right? Or if you want to, if you're like, okay, that's enough, you can count it out yourself. So who would like to try that? Beautiful. Who else?
My name is Ray.
Okay, so keep going. All right, who else? Four, three, two, one, and out. Excellent. Who else? Please. Okay, let's keep it going. Who else? All right, who else? Please. Four, three, beautiful. Who else? Four, three, two, one. Nice. Let's have a few more.
Charles Malgard.
Nice. Okay. Okay? Couple more opportunities. There's got to be a few more people that want to give that a shot. Okay. Okay. Excellent. Our new drummer. Excellent. You're all right. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else got the Jones? Sorry, you forgot to finish the count. I was thinking about something. We'll go there. We'll go there in a second. So, anybody else? Okay, so if we did everybody, we'd be here an extra hour. So here's a question. First, to the people that volunteered and did their name, what did that feel like to you? Excellent. Okay, good. Any other words? Any others? Okay. So invigorating. Okay? Okay. Excellent. Okay, so now the people that did, for everybody that did not do it, what did it feel like you to play along with everybody? Pardon? Yes. Okay, excellent. Yes. Excellent. All right, so now we're going to take it to a slightly different place. And what I'd like to ask is if anybody, and this gets a little more, slightly more personal, but only slightly. Because what I'd like to ask, if anybody is going through anything, and you have an emotion you would like to express on the drum, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to open it up to, so if you're dealing with anything, if you're celebrating something, whatever you're feeling, what I want now is a few volunteers to play what they're feeling on the drum, and the rest of us are going to do the same thing. We're going to attend to that and play along with it. Translate? Give it a try. All right, so let's remember that for a moment. Anybody else feeling something that you think you could express on the drum? Four, three, two, one, and stop. Okay, so let's pause for a second. What did, this is open to everybody. What did those rhythms feel like to you? Like if you had to emotionally categorize the rhythm, like what it felt like, what did that mean? Remember, the first one was kind of, right? Okay, good. Just making sure, thank you. So what is that, what's the emotional sensibility of that you get from playing? It was like what? Okay. Okay. Anybody else get any particulars? All right. Okay. Okay, okay. 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 Any? So kind of heading towards that resolution. Okay. Stress. That. Okay. All right. And then. Okay. All right. And the people who play the rhythms, you are welcome to comment, but you absolutely do not have to. Okay? All right? And then the second rhythm, which was the heartbeat. What did that feel like? Pardon? Burr. Okay. Okay, good. I like that. I mean, that, that's just me, but anything else? Okay. Okay. Excellent.
I thought
Okay.
Said how calm, like, we can slow down, our hearts can slow down. That was kind of how, that was what I was feeling.
That's interesting
Cool.
you said that because she started off with that nice slow heart, and I felt it definitely raising our hearts up and it's going faster. I really picked up on this.
Okay. That's it. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. So, if anybody else has something they're experiencing they would like to share on the drum, be awesome to get just a couple more. Okay. Four. Three. Two. One. And cool. So what did that feel like? Awesome. All right. Anyone else? So what does that feel like?
Let's have some fun. Yeah. Get the party started.
Yes. Good. Okay, what else? Louder, please. Oh, okay.
Like being on a mission.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else? All right. So any comments that anybody that just did those couple would like to share? Again, totally optional. So isn't it amazing how consistently when that we interpret the sensibility of even these simple parts? And I know this is rhythmically, this is much simpler than what we usually do, playing in a circle. But isn't it fascinating that even those simple parts have an emotional tenor that we can consistently pick up from? We might not interpret it exactly the same way, but it is a form, this is a form of emotional communication. So let's take that same, our next games, let's take that same kind of thing, and we're going to do a little mini drum circle, but we're going to get somebody who wants to volunteer to start. During this game, we're going to listen, and then we're going to try to either, you've got two options. Option A, Zalmaeus, add in something that is not already being played. So listen to whatever's happening and see if you can add something a little different. Or, number two, Zalmaeus intentionally pick something someone else is playing and reinforce it, to say hi, to say, oh yeah, that slap on the upbeat, that rocks, I'm going to do that with you, okay? So we're going to start, one person's going to start, and we're going to take our time coming in. Listen till you find something you want to add, and those are either consciously reinforce what someone else is doing, or find something that's not in the mix yet to add in. So we got a lot of people, so let's keep it a little sparse. Keep it to, 16th notes, little accents, but with this many people, if we want to talk, we don't need any of that. Okay, so all right. So who would like to get us started? And during this, anybody, here's the other rule: anybody who would like to make it go faster or make it go slower, that's what that drum in the middle is for. All right. So if you go out to the drum in the middle, for that moment, you've got the steering wheel, so you can take the speed up. We want to keep it where everybody can comfortably play. You can bring the speed down. You can take the volume up or bring the volume down. Zalmaeus, take the volume up and the speed down. Okay, so you're in control of our speed and our dynamics if you step up to play the middle drum. So who would like to get us started? Please. fade. One, that was very beautiful. Two, that was 6/8. And it worked the whole time. So kudos, when you listen, when you entrain, it's easier. Even, we probably have a bunch of people here who are not accustomed to playing in odd time signatures, but everybody just did. That was beautiful. I saw a lot of people finding something else in the circle to respond to. And I saw a bunch of instances where you had a conversation going between the different drums. So, same question as always, and this can be from anything. We're in our little wrap-up period. But how did that feel? And again, we're looking for the emotional character, what it felt like to participate. Good word? Good? Good.
From the perspective of sitting in the middle, people respond to bringing that, not the tempo, but the volume way down. It's almost like a breath. Take your body, you probably saw me take a big breath because I felt it hit. So sometimes I think about there, especially the more drummers there are, when it starts getting really crazy, if we all step off of it a little bit and keep the tempo up, that breath will come in so that it can come back up fuller. So a lot of time I don't hear that breath get taken, where it's not even a pause in how fast it is, but just the sound. If we could just ease off the volume long enough for everybody to pop back around, and when it comes back in up, it's not as discombobulated as sometimes it sounds like popcorn. But right then, that was like so awesome because I really felt a breath go. And I was like, anyway.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you found that very empowering.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, anything else? Okay, so what we just did, and I've only got about 10 minutes, so I'm going to try to give you the Cliff Notes version, because I'm god-awful, I can talk about this stuff forever, I find it that fascinating. But what we just did, you'll notice several things to point out. All I did was suggest the game. Y'all did all of it. I did not start a rhythm, right? Here's what, and there's an interview, and I'm going to post it up within the next week, that I did with Dr. Bittman about this exact thing. Here's what he figured out from knowing a lot of what there was to know about, here's a big word, I apologize in advance, it's got like 17 syllables, psychoneuroimmunology. What he realized was that he needed to apply what he already knew from research about how our psychology affects our immune system. He needed to apply that to the drum circle. And some of what he knew comes from really, really cool places that I have to share a little bit about. So one of the tests they did was they measured the immune systems, and they have different factors they do to get a reading, kind of a spectrum reading on the strength of immune systems of, drumroll, gang members versus non-gang members in the same community. Whose immune system is better? Okay, let's see hands for gang members. Let's see hands for non-gang members. Okay, the gang members get this one. Why is that? Who said community? Well, power drummers, yeah, but community. The sense of community is one of the primary immune positive psychological experiences we can have, which means it's one of the primary ones that we can give. Now, within that gang, they measured the immune systems of, and this, you have to know a little bit about how gangs work. There's designated people in gangs who carry the weapons, who carry the guns. If you've got 2 strikes, you don't get to carry them. If you're underage, you're more likely to get to carry because you're not looking at hard times. Whose immune system is stronger? The armed individuals in the gangs or the unarmed individuals in the gangs? Okay, how many people said armed? Think armed? How many people think unarmed? Okay, it actually is the armed people have better immune systems. Why is that? They are empowered. They are empowered. They know they have control. They know they have status within the group. Now that's kind of a jacked up place to get that information, but I love that stuff. So so there you have it. But the idea, so one of the ideas, and this is why I love this work, why I love the Health Rhythm Circle, even though we kind of did a truncated version of it, the idea from going into it with the knowledge that you want to make the people you are drumming with feel like they are part of a community, that means you have to drum with them. And that's why we did such simple things, just drumming whatever somebody drummed for their name. That's everybody supporting that one person's expression. That's telling them you are part of this community. We have the ability to understand what people are feeling based on what they present, not just verbally, but also musically. And that lets us connect with them. And when we're playing in a big setting like the last circle we did, which really, that was solid. I'm operating with one ear and a little bit of this one right now, so my discernment is not what it usually is, but that sounded really good. That listening to other people, that consciously seeing somebody over here is doing something and doing it with them for a second makes that connection. So I was so thrilled to be able to do this here at this event, because to me those are two of the most important ideas in our group drumming experience, is that if we want to create community and if we want to empower people, that means playing with people. It does not mean, and that's a hard lesson, I mean, in some ways, like many of the drummers here are very talented and can do staggeringly sophisticated things, but that's not going to help you connect. That's not going to help me connect with people at a drum circle. You play at a level where they know you're talking to them and you've made that connection, And when things come together, paying attention to the community, paying attention to what people are asking for is another thing that empowers them. So if somebody does come around and say, can we bring it down? I've seen this happen a lot with dancers. Can we bring it down? Can we slow it down? If you respond yes, you, instead of saying, no, I'm enjoying 160 BPM, which that is valid. But if you choose in that moment to respond yes, of course we can bring it down. All of a sudden you've connected and you're taking that step to build community and to empower someone else. And that's so empowering for the individual. If you have the opportunity to connect that way, to play along with somebody and let them see that their rhythm is valuable, that their rhythm fits and is part of the circle, you've done something far more glorious than even playing Buddy Rich 128th notes, with triplets thrown in, just for good measure. It's about that connection, and that connection happens on the drum by speaking with people, speaking to people while you're playing. So, and all of the good, everybody, we all hear that drumming is healing. True? How many people see that every day in their Facebook feed? Right? Every week, right? It comes up a lot. The research that, as I said at the beginning, Dr. Bittman tried a bunch of things that did not work before he realized that what was going to work was, instead of having a facilitator who was telling people what to drum, instead of having a teacher who was teaching the rhythms. Those are valuable things. But if we're after that biological wellness effect, we want the people who are experiencing it to come up with the rhythms. We want them to express, we want to connect with them. And that's where the biological, measurable biological benefits originate in drumming. That's very consistent across most of the studies. There's some other good research out there, but the biggest piece of it is the health rhythm stuff, and you can find all that research on remo.com. You can get the entire study. You should check out the whole thing if you're geeked out on it. All right, any questions or comments? Yes. Yes.
Okay, I had a little dinner party at my house, and we were sitting in a circle, and one of my friends said, Sandy, let's drum. Your drum circle is so clear. See what that means? These were not drummers. This is the party, so I got my plate out, passed the drums out, and we just had a drum. No talking, just drinking and drumming and having a good time, laughing, you know. There was a lady there with Parkinson's disease. She could not walk. She was on crutches and also her knee. When the circle was over, she goes, gosh, I feel good. That woman did not use the crutches for the rest of her life. That's awesome. And wow, I just got chills. It's awesome. And it was totally, you know, all we're sitting around listening to each other and about each other.
Yeah, that was awesome. Any other questions? Any other comments?
My prior research indicates that how we really understand some emotionally started transmitting from these to your immune system, which is part of the respiratory system.
Out of all the characters, you've got melody, you've got harmony, you've got rhythm. Rhythm goes straight to the core of the brain. It goes deeper in the brain faster than any of the other aspects of music. And there's another really cool research thing. I'll post something about it on our challenge.day if anybody wants to pursue it, called rhythmic entrainment intervention. And this student has studied how specific rhythms can interact with the deep brain structure, like the limbic system, like reticulation, and they change the way the cortex processes signals and can have profound effects on people with things like autism, Alzheimer's. So yeah, there's a lot of amazing things that rhythms can do physiologically at that deep level. That's mostly a different topic than but the emotional thing with the limbic system, being able to interpret sound, is starting to have more and more research that happens at that level before we even interpret the words. We interpret the emotion behind what somebody is saying. So somebody can be saying something very bland, but if they're saying it with either love in their hearts or if they're trying to manipulate you on a deep level, our brains interpret that at that level of the rhythm reaction to the sound. So, anything else? All right, thank you. All right. The website is just Revo, R-E-V-O, which is a type, they have a big line of drums. And they are the ones who put the bill of research. And they put in a big bill, and there's a book research. So it's if you go to revo.com, you see a green icon, square icon, it says help rhythm. Click there, and you're in a world of research. And the training, they do trainings, I think they're up to about 6 or 8 trainings a year. And with the training, it's not a certification, but with the training, one, you do not have to be a musician. In fact, Barry told me at the beginning, we saw the drum before we started, and he said,
It happens in Fort Lauderdale. I just went on the website and looked at what the next time is in a couple months in April or something. And they're doing that whole rhythms training. I know that it's very big.
yeah, if you want to be helping with drums, the training is amazing. You do not have to be a good drummer. In fact, he told me because he said, you're a hell of a drummer. And I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, that's going to make this really hard for me. have to work with your breath. This is awesome because we're all one of them cover ours. But okay, if you've never touched a drum before, you can get the most amazing expression. So, all right. Anything else? All right, thank you all so much. I did not expect. The clapping is all for you guys because, like, as I said, you did it all. And that's what it's about. It's about empowering everybody else.